time, queer time, queer time, queer times.
Queers in.
Hi, Harrison. How are you?
Hey, Kristen, I'm really good. How are you?
Good. I'm Christian Becker, and welcome to Queer Times.
Yeah, I'm Harrison Fish. You're in recovery of Lesbian Visibility Week?
I've been
Yep.
seen so hard. I was seen.
So visible.
I was so visible. Yeah, it was great. We did Starcross, the astrology dating game show, to much fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Marissa Miller and Emily Olcott did Pillow Princesses. There was Lesbo Bingo. There was a marsh walk, very lesbianic. There was
Drums?
I'm sure. I'm sure. I didn't attend drums, but I'm positive there was a drum circle.
You can't get a group of like 10 lesbians together without someone being like, how about a drum?
I mean, not if they're trying to be, not if they want to be seen. That's what we do.
True.
Yeah, we want to be seen and heard. It's about visibility and what's the word? And hearing us too.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing us too.
Visible and audible.
Thank you. Visible and audible.
It took me a minute to get there too.
Yeah, but it was great. It was a great turnout. It was great fun. It was a chill beginning, shoulder season vibe in P-Town. There were a varied age groups of lesbians, which is nice. Obviously still skewed a little bit older as we do in this part of the country, but it was great. And my hat's off to all those who did a whole bunch of work to make it happen. Tracy Stieber did a bunch of work, and all the folks in P-Town. And to be clear, this is all over the world, Lesbian Visibility Week.
Oh, yeah.
It was happening everywhere. Did you see lesbians where you live?
Yeah, I live in Oakland, so.
Oh, you see them every day?
Yeah.
Were they wearing like safety vests or something?
That's actually a good idea.
That is a good idea. We should all have bright neon
That's a good
green.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on Reddit, and I'm part of the Provincetown Reddit page, and I actually wanted to see if you wanted to connect with someone because there was a woman who has a 19-year-old daughter who is coming to Provincetown for Memorial Day. And she's like, I don't know what to suggest. She's like, she doesn't really know. I just want to make sure she has a good time. And I just know that you might be the best person to ask because you know what it's like to be an 18, 19, 20-year-old in Provincetown because of your work with Summer of Sass.
So the fact that you left because your work with Summer of Sass to the very end of that statement is I don't like that because
I'm gonna get you in trouble.
I
heard there was a 19-year-old coming.
And I know you'd be the perfect person to send them to. So I recommend that people go to Summer of Sass and check out the website and see what's going on. And then that weekend here is actually the first weekend that the Sassers are here. And so
you'll be very busy.
There's orientation, there's the general landing of it all, right? Where you have all these young adults kind of just showing up in the house. This year we have like 5 people coming on the same day. And so it's just on the same ferry. Like if you go, there'll be like 5 of them coming off the last ferry on Saturday night or on Friday night or something. It'll be really cute and fun. And so generally, yes, I would say that. But that weekend, I will say we are pretty insular. There's a lot of cramming information into young adults' heads. And like, this is where you get this, and this is where you get this, and here's where your new bathroom is, and there's a sink downstairs, and have you ever washed a dish before? And if not, here's how you do it. And it is a very intense first week of them landing and us just like figuring out who these people are, what they're going to need to be their best selves, how much of that we can provide and how much they have to figure out on their own. It's a delicate balance. But yes, I'm always...
There's also usually a dunk tank involved.
No. So we've done the dunk... We have done the dunk tank before for Baby Dyke Weekend, Dyke Duck Dunk. We will be doing a Dyke Duck Dunk again. Last year was so cold for Memorial Day weekend that I
know.
You were in it. You were in the tank. And so I've opted to hold off until Girl Splash this year.
If anything, get a little sous vide machine and put it in so it'll heat up the water.
Honestly, that sounds like a bacteria breeding situation. I don't know if
it's in the danger zone.
I don't need, that is not, if it's warm enough to boil, it's too warm to dunk.
Mhm, mhm,
And so we're gonna have a situation. So I'll
cute.
avoid that. But yes, there will
Mhm.
be. I can't believe they're gonna be here so soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's time. Yeah. Hey, we got bees. Also, I just want to put that
Oh,
out
you
there.
got bees?
We got
Is it
bees.
through is it through Best
No, it's through my neighbor. I got a guy.
Oh,
You
got
don't
a bee
have a
guy.
neighbor that's got some bees?
There's, like,
My na-
multiple bee people in Provincetown, though. It's a
yeah,
lot of bee people.
my neighbor Glenn is a bee guy, and he was like,
Mm,
I'm looking at them. If you can hear me looking out,
cute.
and he's like, "Do you want some bees?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Hell yeah.
Who doesn't want bees? And so they
Yeah.
came last weekend, and they're buzzing around as one would expect.
That's really fun.
Yeah. What was your weekend like? What did you do without me while I was gone?
I had a friend visiting from Boston, and we kind of ran around town a little. I did something really cool. There is a place in San Francisco called the Church of Eight Wheels,
Okay.
and it was so cool. It's basically this gigantic church that someone purchased and turned into a very no-frills roller skating rink.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a great time.
It was awesome. So it's this enormous church with lasers and lights, and it's just completely empty, and you're doing roller skating laps around, and they have a DJ. And it had been quite a time since last time I was on roller skates.
But
And
it comes right back to you.
yes, when I said no frills, I was not kidding because you walk up, you sign a waiver, it's $25 cash only. They ask your size, hand
It's
you a pair of
$25
skates.
cash only.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they hand you a pair of skates, and um the skates aren't new. I tried 3 different pairs and none of them were fantastic, but it was fine, but it was tough to feel it coming back to you when 1 out of your 8 wheels doesn't roll at all, you
Are
know?
you sup Can you bring your own skates?
You can, and a lot of people did.
Alright.
It's a lot of people in the same boat as me trying it for the first time, and then also a handful of people that were experts.
Diehards.
Yeah, like zooming in and out of everyone, but it was a ton of fun. Quite a workout. I only have 1 bruise on my knee. Hopefully it'll heal soon. At my age, who knows?
Now that's gonna stay with you for 2 weeks now.
Exactly,
Now
exactly.
your
But it
skin will
was
be
wild.
stained.
Yeah. But what's cool is that one of the reasons I found out about it is because RuPaul did an interview where she said, San Francisco's her favorite city, and the one thing you have to do is go to Church of the Eight Wheels. So I was hoping to run into
Oh,
RuPaul. I did not, but that's okay.
what a great idea to what a great way to use an old church.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanna see
Exactly.
scaffolding, maybe not because of the way you actually described the skates. Maybe they're not the people to put
Yeah.
scaffolding up, but it would just be cool because you have all that vertical space, right? So just the idea of
Mhm.
there being able to be like kind of an
Something hanging or
or
something.
or
Yeah.
like just like a ramp up and around and like
Ooh,
you
that's
know what I
really
mean? Like
true.
could there be a
Yeah.
way that
As much as it was very big, you were kind of in a constant state of turning
yeah,
because of how big the space was.
right, yeah,
It was,
but
like,
if you could
just big
like
enough.
give us some elevation, slight
Mhm.
elevation.
And to continue the theme, I went to a drag show yesterday, which was in a public park in Oakland that was also roller skating themed,
Wow.
calling Rolling with the Homos.
Is there is this a skating holiday weekend? Is
No,
there
I guess it's just there's a lot of roller skating stuff. They were entirely disconnected, but there was a gentleman at the roller skating rink the night before that had a very memorable hat who I did see again wearing same hat at roller skating. So I think he really knows the roller skating circuit.
Would you ever be a roller derby person?
Oh, hell yeah.
I feel like it's something that was popping off in Buffalo before I left, and that would have been
Yeah.
a healthy way to channel the things I was going through at that time. But now I feel like I could be ready for it. I feel like I am built. I am a bowling ball. I'm a dense mass that if you get me go, I might hurt somebody unintentionally, actually.
You I think they're called blockers
Sure. Put me in,
because
coach.
the idea is to lap people. So part of your team kind of stays and like not doesn't let the other fast people on the other team go by you, and then
Yeah.
your fast teammates. It's yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the runner, which I'm not the fast one.
Do you remember the TV show? I want to say it was probably like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes.
I was obsessed with that. I want to say it was on like Much Music or
It was on
MTV2
something
or
random, but
something.
I do know exactly what you're talking about, and yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, roller derby for
Anyway,
you.
It was a little bit of a crazy week. I mean, I feel like we say that every week, but this past week was the White House Correspondents' Dinner,
It was
which,
supposed to be.
yes, which created a lot of headlines over the week.
There's been, all right, so let's just right off the bat, let's discuss real or fake. What's your take?
I haven't put much thought into it because I don't think it matters, no
In what
matter
way?
whether it was real or fake, whether it's proven to be real or fake, there will be a percentage of people who think that it was real and a percentage of people who think that it wasn't real. So regardless of whether it was or not, it's kind of like doesn't quite matter, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, it's kind of terrible that we're at that point where we're just like, oh, did someone try to assassinate the president? Or
Yeah.
did somebody just run through a security line? I don't know. This idea that, here's what I think is real for me, the idea that it is a reasonable belief that people in this country that seem to be well intended and educated and accomplished, this is somebody who was like teacher of the year not long
Mhm.
ago, that those people are losing their fucking minds and feeling like if they don't do something about it, who is going to? I
Mhm.
think that feels very realistic. And whether or not it's real or not, the idea that that is something that feels comprehensible to a lot of us is terrible.
I also feel that it's tough because what we're seeing, the bits and pieces of details that we're getting that might lead us to thinking that it might have been fake or staged or something, I also feel like might just be evidence of no one around the president knowing what they're supposed to be doing at any given time. There's a lot of people saying that there was no security or barely any security.
I don't think that's real. I don't think that part about there being no security is real. I think the reality is that we're talking about a hotel. We're talking about a
Mm,
hotel that is functioning. And this guy ran through the first guard. Like that's the whole point of a perimeter, right?
mhm,
Now, I do think there is some truth to the fact that when you have an administration that has no actual experience in the jobs they're doing, that could have a trickle down effect and that maybe not all the I's are getting dotted and all the T's are getting crossed. And in fact, this is not an elevated number of attacks on our president. It's just that there used to be people around the president who were good at their job. And
mhm.
this stuff got nipped in the bud before it even got to where it is now. Right. So
Right.
that's what I think. But also, I don't think that anyone, I mean, to my knowledge, the guy ran through the first gate and then some people shot him and missed it first and then got him, to my knowledge. I don't know. It's
Okay.
what has been reported.
I guess for me, it's just I've worked in restaurants that have had kind of high profile guests come in,
Mhm.
like, and I'm not like past presidential nominees or someone connected to a presidential candidate or something like that. And the security is pretty intense just for them visiting a restaurant.
Mhm.
So to have the White House Correspondents' Dinner, you would think, yes, it's in a hotel, but you would think a place would be picked that can be secure, you know?
But I think that I'm not sure that this wasn't secure. The
Mm.
reality is that when the guy ran through it, he still got nowhere near the ballroom.
Right, right,
Right,
right,
like, that I think this is part of it, right? I just think that in a different organization or administration, they pick up that guy when he gets off the train in Chicago or something.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? But apparently this guy had no indication that he would be this person, that there's been
Mm,
no, he's not somebody who's ranting online about how he wants to kill people, and he's not somebody who has a history of any of this, it seems.
right. He did leave a manifesto behind, which I thought was very interesting. Donald Trump did an interview in the days following, it might have been the next day, where the interviewer said in the manifesto there was a line like, "Oh, there are people in charge who are pedophiles and there are people who are in charge are rapists. How would you respond to that?" They asked Donald Trump. And he was like, "Listen, I've never raped anyone. I'm not a pedophile." And she goes, "Oh, you think he's talking about you?" Which,
No, that was amazing.
yeah, I think that it was a some clever journalism right there.
It was well done, and yeah, I mean, the guy's still alive, so I guess we'll see what happens. NBC says that his sister, the guy's name is Corey Allen, I think. Let me look.
Mhm.
That his sister was like Cole Allen, not Corey. That he sent an email to family right before he did it. And that his
Mm.
sister said that her brother had a tendency to make radical statements, and he had referred to a plan to do, quote, something to fix the issues. But that's it. I mean,
I don't think that is someone going off the deep end in an unreasonable way. I think a lot of people are feeling the same way as this person, but aren't taking the leap, you know?
yeah. Yeah, he was teacher of the month. I don't know. It's just another example of a broken system, a broken
Mhm.
healthcare system. The way this is all intended to overwhelm and crack brains,
Mhm.
if you're too dialed in. And yeah, it's a delicate balance. So be nice to yourself out there, people. Do the work, but also take the time out if you can, because
Mhm.
I don't know. Seems like somebody who can make it to 31 and be applauded at their job. And I don't know. It just feels like the cracks are showing
Mm.
more than
Yeah,
ever
but I
before.
guess the point I want to make, and I feel like you'll agree with this, is like I feel like a lot of people want to paint these people as absolutely insane people who have gone crazy. But I don't think seeing the president of the United States being a pedophile and a rapist and all of the absolutely awful things he's doing to people here, people across the world, I think a reasonable person does get pushed to this point of being this angry.
I think that's real. I was just thinking about but that moment where you cross over to violence, and the kind of violence where you it's not a great plan, right?
No.
I just feel like, to me, it says this man was going through a mental health crisis, because this man seems to be smart enough to have had a better plan than this,
Mm.
right? This is somebody who, if he hadn't been broken, he probably would have planned out a way better attack, you
That's
know,
probably true. You're right.
other than just, I'm gonna run through the Secret Service. Like that, a well-functioning brain knows that's not gonna do it, no matter how
Right.
fast you are. You could. You're not just running through all of the security until you get to the dais, It's not a logical thought.
Yeah. It was interesting seeing the response of the Secret Service and people's security details.
Yeah.
So much of the right and the patriarchy is based on like, oh, who's going to protect women? Women need to be protected. Meanwhile, every like um RFK's wife got left there. Melania had to crawl behind a bunch of the tables alone with no protection.
I don't know about that, because that's just the order of succession. That is their job as Secret Service agents are to take those people away from everyone else. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
part, I feel like, yeah, not that part doesn't get me as much, because that's
You're like,
just
of course, yeah.
what the job is. The job is that you're the one. If this person dies and this person dies, who's running the country? Well, if you're in that line, they have to come and get you, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you made a really good point right there where they're doing their jobs and they're prioritizing because that's their job. It took about 3 seconds for them to get JD Vance off the stage. And then it took about 20 to 25 seconds for them to get Donald Trump off the stage.
I think, if we have any fans of the Secret Service here, but I believe each security's detail is responsible for their mark or target or whatever
Mm,
person. And so that just tells me that Trump's security detail was not as good as Vance's security detail.
mm,
Because I don't think that everybody goes to the president and then it goes in order. I think that everybody goes to their person, who is their
mm.
detail, and then gets them out of the way. But I could be wrong, because I've never been in the Secret Service.
Right.
Believe it or
I
not,
think you could do it.
I definitely could not. I definitely could not do it. There is personal discipline and intelligence that comes with things like the FBI and the CIA and the Secret Service. And
Mm,
I could have done it if someone had intervened in my life when I was like a 17-year-old dyke figuring it out and being like, well, I guess I'm going to be a cop or join the military. That would have been the moment.
hmm To be
that they could have
grabbed. Yeah.
to have been grabbed. Yeah. And then I would have been fantastic at it, but not anymore.
I mean, I guess I just wonder if, just like you also haven't been in the Secret Service, so I don't know how this works, but I wonder if there is a hierarchy. And obviously, to the outside world and the public, the president is obviously above the vice president. But I wonder if, due to the fact that the person at the top, the president, has failing health and failing mental faculties, if behind the scenes he has dropped a level in the prioritization.
I guess it'd be, I don't think it works like that, but maybe Vance paid him. Maybe
Right.
Vance hired Cole Allen. Maybe that's what this is all about. Vance trying to, maybe that's why there's been so many assassination attempts. JD Vance has been planning them.
Right.
Now there's a conspiracy theory for you. Put that one in
Mhm.
your pipe. Speaking of saying what we think and maybe we should shut up. Did you hear the Jimmy Kimmel thing out of this? Kind of born out of this?
I did not.
The long and short of it is he made a joke about how Melania had the glow of an expected widow. And then there was a supposed assassination attempt, which, by the way, this administration is using to qualify their need to have their own ballroom on the White House grounds. So fine. But let's just say that they knew in advance that they were going to be such terrible people that they would probably need to hold all of their events on the compound, because if they start going out there, the other people, the citizens, are going to try to kill them regularly. That's basically
Mhm.
their argument, is like, hey, we're fucking shit up so bad. We're going to need to have all of our events on the White House grounds. This is why we need a ballroom. But Jimmy Kimmel makes this joke, and now, because of the incident, the FCC is going to, they just announced this today, it's Tuesday afternoon. The FCC just announced that they're going to pull Disney's licenses for an early renewal. So ABC, parent company Disney, the FCC is apparently going to challenge their right to be, their right to free speech, basically,
Mhm.
which is sort of terrifying when you think about it.
Yes. I mean, they've been going after Jimmy Kimmel for quite some time.
They have, but I think that Jimmy Kimmel is really the avenue to go after Disney,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many, especially when you start to think of conspiracy theories around something like this, there's always evidence that you can find. It's like Jimmy Kimmel made a joke and then there was an assassination attempt. I don't think those two things are linked by any means, but they're obviously trying to put them together like it is some sort of conspiracy theory and put blame and guilt onto Jimmy Kimmel in order to take away and control the media. And it sounds crazy when you say it like that because that seems absolutely insane, but it's absolutely insane.
It's insane. And Kimmel didn't apologize, but there's been some back and forth on X about this. And between him and Milan, he posted, "I'm sorry that you and the president and everyone in the room on Saturday went through that. I really am. Just because no one got killed doesn't mean it wasn't traumatic and scary." And then he added, "We should come together and be best. We really should. But if you want us to believe a joke I made these 3 days before this dinner had any effect on anything that happened, well, then maybe someone should look into this psychic lady too." Just like, I'm glad that there is, not that I want it to be on X, but I'm glad there's a public debate, or at least a back and forth where Kimmel is allowed to speak for himself
Hmm.
kind of about it, because yeah, that is a very light joke. Like that's a good
Yeah.
joke. That is a,
Yeah, exactly.
Trump is old, his wife is young. That's a good joke.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
also, it's like, it's in line with the millions of jokes and sentiments that are being made around social media and media already. You know what I mean?
And this is the party of toughen up, snowflake. Like,
Yeah.
this is the party of, like, we can insult you until no end, because what are just words? What are you? Some kind of pussy? Like, and then the minute our words are funny, they get mad.
I mean, there's a trend on TikTok of that starts with like where you hope you are when it happens. And there's no
Where do you
mention
hope
of it.
you are?
I hope I'm on a gay club dancing, but
Mm,
that would mean I would have to go to a gay club dancing.
and you don't do that often?
Yeah. Honestly, Provincetown would be such an amazing place to be when it happens.
I think it will be fun. I do think it'd be the kind of thing where like I'll be driving down the street honking a horn and like taking video of everyone dancing in the streets, sort of a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be good. Except now, will it? Because now it's kind of like, but then there's gonna be vans.
Right.
I think that's the part where I've been like torn in my emotions about how happy I want to be about this because I'm
Mm.
also like, but then vans?
I think there's going to be a huge power grab, and I think they're going to eat themselves alive when Trump goes.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. And also, how do you know how? Just because I want to stay on this FCC thing for a minute,
Hmm.
how is there any? Is there anything that people can do?
To like defend.
Yeah, like because the FCC is sort of an independent body, right?
Mm.
So Congress oversees the FCC. That's what I wanted to get to. I wanted to get to Congress overseeing the FCC. So if you are somebody who believes in free speech in all the ways, you should be alarmed at this.
Hmm.
If you are a diehard Trump supporter, number one, you're not listening to this, but if you know, if you know, I know some of people in my life know people who are diehard Trump supporters. This is a great point for you to take to them
Mm.
and say, hey, are you for free speech? Is this not an American value? And if so, why should the government be allowed to overreach in this way when someone is making, and you can even say your comedian friend said so, it's a good joke. It's a good joke. So yeah, it's the call your congressperson who doesn't have enough to deal with right now with all the wars
Hmm.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
guess, you know,
I will say am. I will say I am no longer interested in trying to convince Trump voters, Trump supporters of anything. They've heard it all. They've heard enough. Their heads are buried in the sand. Their heels are dug in. They're not going to change no matter what you say. It's all been said. It's the guy's a pedophile. The guy's a rapist. The guy is a thief. He is stealing from the government. He is killing people all around the world. He is starting wars. He is. The list goes on and on and on. And they know it. And there's no changing their minds, I think.
I think that generally speaking, most people agree that that's true, but I think that there's also just a whole lot of people who still deal with a whole lot of these people around
Mm,
in their general day to day, and you have to function in a way you can't when you live in a place that is not primarily blue, you have to go through your day to day. Number one, with everyone around you assuming you believe the way they do. Number one, which is terrible. Number two, almost a fear of retaliation for not believing the way that they do is a very oppressive situation. And number three, in order to retain any sense of self, being able to have debates with these people or discussions with these people in your small town PSA, like, or PTA meeting, like, this is all we're talking about. Like, when you go to your day to day things, you're running into people who are talking about this. I don't know. I think it's good to for those people to have some solid talking points that they can, at the very least, feel like themselves in public, right? Like,
mm,
it's all identity oppression, really, when you think about
mhm.
it. If you know, if you're someone living in one of these areas that doesn't necessarily coincide with everyone else.
I guess the reason I feel that way, or the biggest reason I feel that way, is because I feel like so much of the MAGA identity and the Republican identity is built on um kind of being a contrarian, putting people in their place, putting people beneath them. And I feel like Republicans and MAGA don't really have a core belief system other than those are the enemy. What they want is what I don't want. If they aren't getting a reaction, if they aren't getting input about what you don't like about Trump, they don't know what to like about Trump because they like that he makes you mad. And if you don't give them that, they don't know what to like. If you're not constantly, I'm mad about this, he's that, he's that, he's that, they don't have they don't know how to form an opinion because their opinion is solely formed on what the other side doesn't want.
I think there's some truth to that. I just think, like everything else there's more of a spectrum of those people. I think there's definitely those people. I think you can tell when you run into them. If you're surrounded by the culture of it all the time, you can kind of have a general idea of someone who's like just like
Mm.
gone, right? And like not coming back versus somebody who you can see is kind of struggling and like maybe they were a never and then they got on board and now they're like, listen, I hope to just win over all the people who are left of center and further left than that. But, you know, there are elections coming soon. Let's see what happens.
Speaking of, I know we didn't say we were going to talk about this, but over the last week, Virginia had a vote for a new congressional map. And
Crushed
basically,
it. Crushed
yeah,
it.
basically it went from like, I want to say it was a 5-6 split, Republicans to Democrats. And now it is going to be a 1-10 split based on the map they're suggesting, where it will be 10 Democrats and 1 Republican representing the state of Virginia. How do you feel about that?
I think they crushed it. I think that now we know the history of gerrymandering, thanks to you, right? It goes
Mr.
we,
Gerrymander.
Mr. Gerrymander, but we know that it was something we did. Democrats are into it, and then Republicans brought it back. We're like, let's do it. And we were like, oh, you mean that game we started a long time ago? You want to do that? Let's do it. And they crushed it, and they'll continue to crush it. I think that I'm proud. I'm proud is what I am. That's how I feel. I feel like, yes, play the game they're playing. If they're
Yeah.
gonna play that game, let's do it.
I do think there is a point to be made in the fact that Republicans, when they gerrymander their state, they just do it. Where the big Democratic states that have gerrymandered, which is California and Virginia now, have both put it to a public vote. So at
Well,
least they're kind of running it by their voters first.
yeah, we can do it in a morally correct way. We can play those
I don't-
games.
I mean, it's the game isn't morally correct. The only moral decision was to eliminate gerrymandering, in which every Republican has voted against eliminating gerrymandering for years. But I do think that I think it was a 52% to 48% vote on this question. And if I take a big step back, yes, I think it is fucked up that a slight majority gets to vote to control, what is that, like 93% of the congressional power of the state. Yes, I think that is objectively bad, but it is working in a system that Democrats have to fight back against. So I think it is the moral decision in an immoral system.
Okay, I accept that.
Did you see Ron DeSantis just put forward a congressional map that he is hoping to put forward in Florida?
I figured it was happening, but no, I did not hear. But I'm not shocked, and we'll see how
I'm not
Florida
shocked.
goes.
Right. I'm not shocked at all. And I do think that Republicans think that gerrymandering is their answer. But we've seen a lot of big blue shifts, 7 points, 11 points, 16 points over the past year's special elections. And I think they're going to gerrymander. And I think it's going to turn into a dummy mander, which is where they didn't do it right, which is, I think, what the map that they put forward in Florida, I think, will end up being a dummy mander. I think they think they're consolidating Democratic votes, but I don't think they're doing it properly.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Do you have a QT of the week?
What do I do? Speaking of politically based, my QT of the week actually is Matt Gromlich for U.S. Congress, Louisiana District 4. That is the area that I grew up in, I'm pretty sure. Shreveport, and a pretty conservative area. Yep. Shreveport. Oh, wait, or did this get gerrymandered out? Hold on. No, Shreveport's. Wow. You should look at this map if you want to talk about gerrymandering. Oh my God, it like cuts through Shreveport. Wow. Wow.
I imagine Shreveport has a higher population of people of color than the rest of the states. They're trying to split them up into different districts.
It just seems like, honestly, yeah, to the point where like I'm going to have to go look at this map at a different time and dive into like which neighborhoods in Shreveport. Because there's like or the western half of this that goes that just cuts out this line along I-49, which is really crazy.
Interesting.
Anyway, Matt is running against Mike Johnson. And he is a Democrat, and he is also an out member of the LGBTQ community.
Ooh.
Which is, I'm pretty excited to see this kind of representation in this area. Even just, I mean, I don't know what his numbers are. I just found out about him. He's a teacher at LSUS. I'm trying to figure out his priorities are education, which Louisiana desperately needs that. Obviously, lowering costs and strengthening small businesses. These seem to be pretty boilerplate Democratic issues. I'm not sure how far into this campaign he is, but I am just excited to see somebody say, I'm going to give this a go and challenge it and be an out strong leader in an area where you don't get a lot of that, you know?
You know the people there. How do you think they're going to react?
I mean, you know, it's interesting because when you really grow up in the South, I guess there's just, it's not like people don't know queer people exist or gay people exist. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm not sure. It would kind of depend on, it looks like he, you know, it looks like his dad was in the military. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I don't think it would be disqualifying for most of the people that I know in Louisiana. It's a white cis gay guy, right? So
Right.
like in the grand scheme of palatable leftists, that's just close, or palatable queers, I should say. That's pretty boilerplate and should be all right. But you know, Mike Johnson, I'm sure, has a hold on a lot of the political donations that come in and all of the money that comes in. But when you talk to people around the 4th Congressional District, they'll tell you that they never see Mike Johnson, right? Like, so when you're running against the Speaker of the House, obviously you have to do a lot to take down somebody who is as well connected as Mike Johnson is and in that position of power. But the one thing, to my understanding, that Mike Johnson has not done is actually shown up at his district or done anything for his actual community back home. And that might bite him in the ass. And I don't think that, you know, this is the Bible Belt. So Mike Johnson's religiousness is probably a strength in that area, but also what he has to swallow in this administration is the opposite of any religion that I know of and any religion that any of my friends have grown up with, because he's not doing the right thing. He's not taking care of his people, and he's kind of bowing down to a wannabe king. And that is just not the vibe of most Southern conservatives, I feel like. But we'll see. But go check out Matt Gromlich. He's from Greenwood, Louisiana. There are 2 other Republicans and 1 other Democrat all challenging Mike Johnson. So they're all coming for him.
Great.
Yeah. Mike Johnson has a lot of people coming for him right now. So
I think
we'll
there's
see
a
what
lot of
happens.
people, and I don't want to say this started with AOC, but I think there are a lot of people realizing that there's nothing that you have to be a politician.
Right.
And I guess there are things you have to be. You have to be passionate. You have to be someone who cares. I think it's changing. And I think a lot of people are realizing that, like, I could run, because all you have to do is be a person with ideas and want to make things better, and people will connect with that.
Yeah, no, there is definitely something to be said about watching the most unqualified people on the planet do the jobs that you thought you had to be highly qualified for.
Right.
Then a lot of us go, wait, I can try that? Maybe I
could have done that.
It's just about being a person to represent other people. I can think. So let's see what happens.
And that also goes beyond running for office. There are boards you can join in your town. There's community organizations you could join in your town, which all make a huge, huge, huge difference.
Get involved.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see in the world. All right.
There we go.
We did it. I think we did it.
Yeah.
We did it. All right. Well, thank you for listening or watching.
Yeah. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And please follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah.
And tell your friends. Love you. Queerly, bye. Queer is in.